An estimated 680,000 people have fled Ukraine into Poland. It has escalated after an attack on a nuclear plant by the Russians.
The limits of this conflict are being stretched by the day. How far was laid bare by these pictures overnight. Missiles targeted a Ukrainian nuclear plant, the biggest of its kind in Europe. While Ukraine's firefighters fought to control the ensuing blaze at a building within the plant, the country's president made a direct appeal to the people of Russia to protest.
Russian people, I want to appeal to you. How is this possible? After all we fought together in 1986 against the Chernobyl catastrophe consequences. You must tell your authorities, take to the streets and say that you want to live on an Earth without radioactive contamination. Radiation does not know where Russia is.
Russian military trucks were filmed pulling up at the Zaporizhzhia nuclear plant. It's now in their hands. Moscow said the attack had been an act of Ukrainian self-sabotage. But the International Atomic Energy Authority pointed the finger at Russian forces as it offered reassurance there had been no radioactive leak.
No reactor was affected by this, luckily, but a fire ensued in this administrative building, which is adjacent, if you want, a few hundred meters from the actual reactors.
The attacks on Ukraine's infrastructure take place in tandem with missile assaults on its towns and cities. This footage shows Turkish aid workers dealing with the aftermath of an airstrike near Kyiv, the destruction and the displaced. Pictures from the air show the devastation on the ground. These are apartment buildings in Borobayanka, 50 miles from the capital. Sky News has verified and located this video to Zhytomyr, 90 miles west of Kyiv. According to Google Maps, the destroyed building is a school. Every day there are increasing signs of war everywhere. This is the tale of a rocket lying on the ground outside the bus station in Kyiv. Here, the creeping Russian advance is reflected in the rubbish on the street. At a NATO news conference in Brussels, its Secretary-General said Russia had used cluster bombs in this conflict.
And of course, NATO and NATO allies and partners are collecting information and monitoring very closely what is going on in Ukraine. I would also welcome the decision by the International Criminal Court to open an investigation into this, because we have to make sure that President Putin and the President of Belarus are held accountable for what they do. This is brutality, this is inhumane, this is violating international law.
Moscow's defense ministry released footage of remotely piloted aircraft and targets hit in the air. The location of this footage is unclear, so is the date. It also made public these pictures of what it says are destroyed Ukrainian military vehicles. Ukraine says that troops from Belarus have now been given the signal to join the Russian military advance. As they move in, Ukrainians move out. A constant exodus of refugees continues to safety beyond its borders. In Kosovo, on the Polish border, they played piano by way of a greeting. A welcome sound ahead, even if it can't drown out the drumbeat of war behind. James Matthews, Sky News.